Hello and welcome to another episode of My Backstage Pass. This is your host Lee Zimmerman, and I'm here with my producer, co-host, and good buddy Billy Hubbard. And today we're very excited to have with us the wonderful Ruthie Foster. Hello, Ruthie. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Great. You have a wonderful new album called Mileage, and you've had some mileage in your career, so I think that's an appropriate title. But I'd be curious where that title originated from. Why did you decide to call it Mileage?
Well, purely for that. I'm at this I've been doing this since I was a kid, and I turned one of the golden ages this year.
We won't have to say. It's okay. It's okay.
And I just been looking back at how long I've been doing music, live music anyway, and starting out in gospel music and moving on to folk and then blues, and to where I'm performing at jazz festivals and all of the other. So yeah, I was just taking a look back at my life, my career on the road specifically.
Wow.
And that's where that came from.
Gotcha. Well, as you mentioned, you really cover a lot of different genres. You're such a versatile and varied performer. I'd be curious as to how and why you wanted to sort of branch out. I mean, coming from a gospel background, so to speak, what inspired you to do blues and jazz and folk and the other things that you do?
Well, I've always done blues, more of a front porch blues, growing up in Texas, in Central Texas. Lightning Hopkins was huge in my area. In fact, I know the Hopkins family. So doing a lot of local shows, that's how I ran into Frank Robinson, who's a nephew of Lightning Hopkins.
Wow.
And studying the way he plays. Yeah, so I've always had blues in the background, on the back porch, I guess you could say. On the front porch was gospel, because that's what my mother insisted that I play. And that was piano and organ in church. And once in a while, I could take the guitar out to play other churches. And, still learning the blues on the back porch, because my dad, he loved the blues. And so he introduced me to Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters. And so the blues came really natural for me to segue from gospel. And so playing in a blues band throughout college, all around Central Texas, East Texas, was that's where I cut my teeth on traveling. Really. And then eventually going to school for music, that introduced me to the classical world, because I was a vocal performance major. So I went from singing blues and gospel to Italian arias and French arias. And it was really more of a way to sharpen my tool as a vocalist. And that I take with me everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, and so especially being in a music school, you're exposed to all kinds of music. In fact, you're expected to know every genre of music. So that's basically where a lot of that comes from.
Wow,
and
you're very well versed. That's apparent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the list of awards and honors and kudos that you've received. I mean, I don't know, Billy, I don't think we even have time to list them all, but
no, used all of my ink up in the printer, man.
Really. We printed out the bio and the printer ran out of ink when it was doing the list of awards. But you have 3 Grammy nominations and any number of blues music awards that you've been given. And, it's best female vocalist, I mean, that alone is pretty dang impressive for you. And a Coco Taylor Award for best traditional female blues artist. I mean, wow. And do you have room on the mantle for all of these? That's the question.
They're all around my house. I'm looking in my living room right now. They're kind of spread around the house. And
Okay.
yeah, I'm really proud of that. It's not something I seek out, but being recognized is always such it makes me feel so validated. It's a beautiful thing. And I should say, I've been nominated 5 times for a Grammy.
Five
So
times. All right. We need to
I've been to the
update.
party.
We need to update that bio that I'm seeing. It's probably not your. It's probably a Wikipedia bio.
Yeah,
But five. Wow.
yeah, I've been invited to the party 5 times, and it was such a great time every time hanging out with, and actually just being a fan, getting invited to come out to Los Angeles and just shoulder to shoulder with people that I love and admire, and even in my category, in the blues category, Shamika Copeland. There's so many, that I love and adore, and I consider them my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a real, it's like this family, my music family. When I get a chance to just hang out, like Xavier, Fantastic Negrito, when we got a chance to hang out.
Wow.
The year he won was when we were still in COVID, so we were
Mm-hmm.
all home when we found out about the winners for that. Gosh, I can name drop all day with these performers
It's all
that I
right.
love.
It's all
I
right.
love, yeah, and I will say, I had a great time with this album, Mileage, and kind of touching base and kind of digging into the significant styles that a lot of my I say my co-creators out there in the blues genre actually do. I love, gosh, there's so many. Let me just hone in on one.
All right.
Betty LaVette. I love
Oh
Betty
my God.
LaVette.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
so, yeah, so one of the songs on this album, me and my young writers, Tyler Bryant and Rebecca Lovell from Larkin Poe, we actually
Mm-hmm.
had a chance to sit with
Yep.
them. We started the song with a great lyric called Heartshine. The title is Heartshine. But what I wanted to do with this album vocally is kind of swim in that little lake that Betty LaVette is so beautiful with when it comes to expressing yourself vocally, where you're almost speaking instead of singing. And that's where I was going with that. I'm just a big old fan out here having a great time, and I love getting a chance to be a performer and hear people's stories when they tell me about songs that they particularly like,
Sure.
and what these songs mean to them. These people have used my songs to get through cancer treatment, to have a child. That is an honor to be a part of, to be weaved into people's lives like that. I love that. Love hearing stories like that.
Well, absolutely. Music becomes the soundtrack of our lives. And when songs are especially affecting and, as you say, meaningful to somebody at a particular point in their lives, it's all the more meaningful. And I mean, I have to say, your vocals, as always, Ruthie, are just so emphatic and emotional and powerful, and it's so impactful to hear you sing these songs. I mean, it really is just
Thank
a
you.
memorable experience here. And you had a hand in writing all of these songs along with your producer and Rebecca Lovell.
Mm-hmm.
So you've kind of explained it already, but I mean, individually, how did you find the muse when it came to writing these songs? Were these sort of your own life experiences, things that you had gone through, things that you had witnessed? Where did these songs come from?
Well, a lot of them came from just sitting and talking. These guys, these young songwriters, were really great about just listening. And the process for this album came about with me just driving up or flying into Nashville and just visiting for a couple of days,
Right.
every month or so, with Tyler and Rebecca. Sometimes Rebecca, being pretty busy contemporary blues songwriter herself, she was sometimes out.
Yeah.
But Tyler and I would connect in his studio. They had a studio, still do, in their home. And it's just really about me sitting on the couch and talking about where I just came from and what I've learned about myself. And, hey, let me tell you what I wrote in my journal this morning. This, I felt like this angel came and she visited me. And, it's just really about sharing my own life stories after getting off the road. They made me feel very comfortable in their home. And when I get comfortable, I talk.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're talking now, so I take it you're comfortable. Thank you. I think that's a good thing, Billy. We've made her feel comfortable.
Yeah, I get that. I get that from my dad. My dad is a big storyteller. He loves telling great stories.
Excellent.
Well, Ruthie, I was going to ask, talking about your songwriting, some of your lyrics I heard seem to have like a cool poetic feel. How do you build your songs? Do you just write the lyrics and then add your melody, or do you have a certain style?
I think that style, I'll have to really give credit to Rebecca and Tyler as far as the how the songs came about and how they're formatted. But I am in the room, so I do have a say whether something should have a bridge or something should just have a key change or something does need another verse. We work together on that. The song 6 Mile Water in particular is a song about where I grew up in Central Texas, right on the Brazos River between two different counties, Milam County and Burleson County, where my family still lives on 400 acres there.
Wow.
And so
Cool.
I grew up in this area as a little girl with no shoes in the summer, climbing trees. And, the song says a lot about my growing up in the 70s. And being close to my grandparents. At one point, I talk about what the rain sounds like on my grandmother's tin roof.
Wow.
Oh man!
So that's an idea, a concept that I came to the table with, and Tyler and Rebecca just kind of ran with it.
Oh yeah!
And I was able to add that very ending to that song. It goes into a totally different sound where it's just me and the guitar. And that's the part I really did not want to lose on that song. That's basically how the song started. The groove that you hear at the very end of the song is the original version of the song. But the rest of it is really Tyler and Rebecca and what they could add to it. It's really just beautifully done.
Yeah, it paints a beautiful picture, kind of.
It does. I love songs that paint a scene,
Feel
that
good.
are visual like that. I mean, that adds to me, an extra layer to the music, and that's what you've accomplished with this too. Had you worked with these two individuals before?
No, I had
Really?
not.
Wow.
But I found out I was introduced to Tyler through, actually, it was during the pandemic when everyone was watching YouTube, and and I got into these home recording YouTubes because like all musicians, we were all up in our recording studio.
Yeah.
Because we're home, right? So we became very familiar with Sweetwater and all the rest of these music companies that send you goodies for your studio. And I heard about Tyler through a podcast, a YouTube podcast, and so his name was floating around in my head because I heard he was from East Texas, and I was born in East Texas.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I, went down a rabbit hole of looking up some of his music and saw that he played beautiful slide guitar, East Texas style.
Yep.
And he actually learned from an old black gentleman up there, and I could tell his sound and the way he played was very distinctive to the Texas sound. And so I just kind of kept up with him. And my manager dropped his name in one of our business calls as a possible young, new producer, because he produced Larkin Poe's album.
Oh, okay.
He's married to Rebecca. Yeah, Rebecca's his wife.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
So it was kind of a connected dots thing. And that's when I realized, wait a minute, I know this guy. Well, I know his music, so let me check him out. And I took a flight up there when he was home, because he traveled quite a bit too.
Yeah.
More in a rock genre. And I'm I love my rock too. A lot of people know that I've recorded War Pigs on Resonator 2, one of my early albums.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I love my rock too. And I was really curious about how he connects that, the blues to rock and all of that. And we just had a conversation on our first meeting, and I'm not sure what song we may have come up with, Mileage, on that first meeting, and just went back to it later on.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How many songs were actually recorded for this project? I mean, there are 10 on the album. Were there additional songs that were recorded and maybe put aside or something like that?
I think these were it.
Okay. That's pretty good to hit 10 for 10,
Yeah. We stopped at a good even number, because we all got busy with our own tours after that. This took about almost a year to do.
Wow.
Between
really? Okay.
touring. Yeah.
Okay. And it's a milestone album for you because it's your 10th album, right?
It is.
That's a milestone in itself. Yeah.
That's great.
Mileage milestone. There's a connection there somehow.
Wow. Look at you.
Oh, I'm so astute, Miss Foster. Come on. Now, I mean, so, aside from the fact that this is, a major plateau in terms of your career thus far with the 10 albums, and the fact that you've, won and received all these honors, does that ever linger over you? Like, oh my gosh, I have to aspire because I'm a nominee for this and a winner for that, and I have a certain bar that I have to live up to. I mean, I can see how it might be intimidating. I ask this question of a lot of artists. Is it intimidating that you have to live up to your past, so to speak, which of course you do, but does that thought ever enter your mind?
Not at all.
Okay.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't bother me at all.
Okay,
because,
good.
If anything, it gets me in the room.
Right.
And so that's what I use. Like being nominated for a Grammy, I got invited to the room. And it was just beautiful for me to be there, to be in the presence of all of these incredible musicians. And if anything, just validating.
The studio audience just gave you a round of applause, by the way. So Billy and I wish that they had a category at the Grammys for best podcast. So we would be happy just to go to the party.
We don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care.
We just want to get nominated or something.
I think that's a great idea.
I think it is. Maybe you have, if you've been nominated 5 times, Ms. Foster, you might have a little bit of cachet there. I'm just saying, that's all. We just want to go to the party, that's all.
I'll mention it. I think it's a great idea.
Thank you. We just want to be in the same room with Snoop Dogg. For various reasons, actually.
It is, podcasts are a multi-million-dollar industry now, billion dollars. I mean billion.
Really, Billy's saying that, and I'm saying, where's my first nickel? Huh?
Well,
Come on, Billy.
Lee, I mailed that check last week.
Oh, dang. All right. I'll be on the
count 'em
lookout for it. Yeah. Checks in the mail. The checks in the mail. Well, I think it would be an opportune time to play a track from the new album. And I understand Billy's got the title track, Mileage, queued up here. So why don't we listen to a little bit of that and give folks a taste?
Yeah, here we go.
All right. Sounds good.
Mileage. There ain't a road I ain't been up or down. I've been lost, I've been found, and I'm proud of my mileage. I'm out here chasing every dream I've dreamed. I've earned who I am 'cause I've seen mileage. Some days I overflow with love for you. Some days I'm running on fumes. Mileage. I fill my cup up just to pour it. I give my all, yeah, I floor it. And I've followed my heart. When my spirit moves, that's when my engine starts. Learn from the turns on the road where I've lived. I owe who I am to everywhere I've been. Oh, you take your way, I'll take mileage. May your highway rise up to greet you. When you can't go around, then go through. Mileage. If you're lucky, you might see a sign. 'Cause there's always another to find. I've followed my heart. When my spirit moves, that's when my engine starts. I learn from the turns on the road where I've lived. I owe who I am to everywhere I've been. Oh, you take your way, I'll take mileage. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. On the road where I've lived, I owe who I am to everywhere I've been. Oh, you take your way. You take your way. I'll take mileage. I'll take mileage every time. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, Lee, but I couldn't.
Don't apologize.
played those
Billy's
songs.
all choked up and emotional now, and he's saying, "Take the controls, take the." I don't know how to work this, Billy.
Once you started, your vocals kicked in.
Oh,
in there.
yeah.
I couldn't stop that. I'm sorry.
He was weeping profusely,
No,
and I
truly
don't
did.
blame him.
Oh, I like it. My mom actually had a band in the 40s and 50s, and so but it was the first thing I ever remember was the church music, and so I kind of. So anyway, when I became a teenager, got in a band, and it was first thing was church band. So, and we went and played in a black church, and our church was like, "Dad, man, I thought this is the coolest church I've ever been in." You know, everybody was just bouncing off the walls, and that's when I realized church could be fun.
Yeah.
Church can be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like our church. Our church was a little more conservative than some of the other we call it holiness churches.
Yeah.
Because, as a little 11, 12-year-old little sister Ruthie, they call me, with my guitar, I go from our church to a holiness church. Which is where when a sister gets the Holy Ghost, you've got like 5 different ushers around her with fans.
Oh yeah.
And one that takes her hat, one takes her purse. I talk about this in my shows too. And we are always just when anybody who isn't black walks into our church, we're going to show out. We're going to show them what church is about.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You should see the smiles. Yeah, when we see somebody white walks into our church, it's a beautiful thing. We're like, oh yeah.
That's
I
excellent.
don't know what's wrong with these white people in church, man. But I mean, because they're big.
Now
you can feel the spirit, that way.
It
feel the
really is,
spirit.
and
Yeah.
that is what I try to bring to. I don't even try. That's what comes through when I sing.
Oh yeah.
That's where I come from. So I take
I could tell
that that spirit into any and all genres that I sang when I get a chance to sing. And this particular song, Mileage, we were just, what I wanted to do was make this my anthem. This is my way.
Absolutely.
This is my way.
Absolutely.
And that's what you hear. And Tyler's in the background with the guitar, and he's doing the long guitar lines. And we're doing our best to just give it, it just turns from a tropical storm into this huge ass hurricane of spirit by the time we're done.
Yeah, it's an encouraging feeling. And, you talk about the road coming up to meet you, the words of encouragement in there. It's pretty cool.
How many takes does it take for you to get that performance? How many times do you have to go up to the mic and sing the song before you get the take that you want?
Well, however many it takes, but it really, for me, if you don't get the first or second,
right,
you missed the heart of it, because that's when I sing all out, no stops.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
After that, I kind of start thinking about the song. And when you start thinking about it, it's not really organic anymore. And Tyler has said this. He's listened to 4 or 5 takes, maybe. We don't really get past that because, I know my voice sounds powerful, but it's, I get tired after that. Singing that full on.
Yeah, level.
That's a lot. It's a lot. So he'll listen to four takes, maybe 5, and he goes, I don't know. We're just gonna have to go back to that first one. Nothing's like that first one.
Hardly surprising.
Yeah.
Hardly surprising the way you describe it too. And there's something prophetic about the titles of your albums anyway, since early on, one of your early albums, the phenomenal Ruthie Foster, The Truth According to Ruthie Foster, Joy Comes Back, more recent album. But the titles of the albums really express certain truths and certain facts and what the listener can anticipate. I would call it truth in advertising, Ruthie, truth in advertising. But it's true. It's very true. I have to mention that you performed at Carnegie Hall in February of 2018. What a phenomenal honor and auspicious occasion in itself, performing at Carnegie Hall. What was that like?
Oh, there's no feeling like that. Walking into the halls of the place and you see the life-size portraits of Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
wow. And you're walking through the halls and you realize, oh my gosh, I'm really here. Yeah, we got that invitation through Roseanne Cash.
Really?
And Yeah, she and John Leventhal
Mm-hmm.
run a music series there. I don't know if they still do, but they were running a music series there. And I met Roseanne years ago at a Canadian festival. We were in the round when you're there with five others, sometimes singer-songwriters, and you all do a song, and you go to the next person, and they do a song, and they sat me next to her and John, and I had just recorded "Ring of Fire,"
Yeah.
my
Wow.
my my version of Ring
Wow.
of Fire, and I
Wow.
leaned over to let her know. I says, I got this version of your dad's song. I'm wondering if it would be, is it okay if I try it? And she had this look on her face like,
Dubious. Okay. All
she
right.
wasn't sure. And and then she gave me the okay. And so I did it. And then she just looked at me with this look like, oh my God, you have turned this song into something beautiful. And she says, that's got to be my second favorite version of that song.
Wow.
But
Wow.
yeah, and after that, I kept running into her, whether it's airports or wherever. And she asked me to come do the music series there at the Carnegie Hall. And what do you say? Let me think about it. No.
No.
So yeah, we ended up there. It's
you,
really beautiful.
there's that old joke. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Hopefully you know
Right.
the punch. You make a left on 7th Avenue and then you go. Yeah, anyway, we don't have to ask you that. And you received a fellowship award as well, right? About
Mhm.
which again, just all these major accomplishments in an amazing career that is still, at peak form here. You're amazing. I don't
Well, I
know.
appreciate that.
Well,
The
it's
the fellow.
true. It's true. I mean, I think maybe your next album should just be called The Amazing Ruthie Foster. And, well, come on. Why not? Why not? Full
Well,
circle.
I have to say what we were doing with the Phenomenal albums, what we call it.
Yes.
We were just trying to. It was a throwback to what they used to do with albums when you
Yes.
introduce an artist. The fantastic Ray Charles,
Right.
the incredible Johnny Cash.
Yes.
That's really what we were just doing, a throwback to that.
Okay.
And we had recorded everything on tape. We didn't use much digital. We wanted that warm sound. So that album is really an homage to how people used to record.
Okay. Well, again, it just fits perfectly. And I noticed, I got to say, on the cover of your new album, you strike a very thoughtful pose there. It's like you're looking towards the heavens, seated there with your guitar, looking ahead. Very
Mhm.
thoughtful pose there, Ruthie. Very
Mhm.
thoughtful. I think that enhances the image as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you. I think the
yeah.
photographer caught me. She caught me thinking, 'cause I
Did
think
he
she had
caught you
walked away
thinking,
at one point.
or was that pose? Did he say, "All right, Ruthie, I want you to have some grand idea, reflect, look ahead," or that was just your natural pose there? Just said, "Okay, I'm gonna sit down and be
Yeah,
me."
I
Okay.
have I have so many you know, smiley
Smiley
poses.
faces. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Uh-huh.
it was towards the end of the our photo session, and I think she had walked out to change cameras or something, and she caught me. She's
Wow,
kind of looking
excellent.
off.
Excellent. So what are your plans now? Are you out touring behind this album? What are
Hmm.
your immediate plans here for the next few months?
Yeah, we are out touring
Mm-hmm.
for through the rest of the year up
Yeah.
until November, and then
Okay.
I try to take at least one winter month off
All right.
just to refresh, recoup, regenerate, all of that, and connect with my family because these songs don't come about without me actually being home and having a life experience, my own life experience.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's important for me to come off the road whenever I can in big chunks. So I'm a mom. I have a 13-year-old daughter.
Oh, really? Okay.
So,
All right. You
yeah,
have a
I
lot
want
of
to be home.
responsibility. Yeah. Wow.
Thank you for recognizing that. Because
Oh, of
that's
course, of course. There was a joke. What was the joke on TV last night? Some company has come up with this robot that's capable of, fixing 4 different meals at one time and getting the kids off to school. And the host said, "That's nothing new. That's called a mom." You know, you don't have to invent it. Thank you, Billy. Billy gave me a smattering of laughter for that.
Oh,
Thank you.
that was a studio
it's
audience.
true.
That was our studio. It is true. It is true.
Yeah, we do it all.
thought-
I have to get my kid. The biggest thing is getting a kid out of the door when they're at that
Yeah.
age too.
That goes for when the kid is 35 and you want him out of the house. So you're never going to stop in that endeavor. It's a constant. I've been there, done that. How far? I'm just curious. How far are you from Dallas, where you live? Are you far?
I'm about 4 hours from Dallas.
It's not
south.
bad considering the size of Texas. I asked before because I was raised in Dallas, and I have a great fondness for Dallas. So I asked the folks from Texas. Obviously some of them live all the way south because again, Texas is a big state. But I was just curious your general proximity to Big D.
Yeah, straight south, I-35 south, and you run through
All right.
Austin, and then you hit me. In San
Oh,
Marcos.
okay. So you are south. Okay, you are south. Gotcha. Well, Ruthie, it's been just a delight, absolute delight speaking to you today.
Thank you. Same here.
Well, your music is just phenomenal, and I hope that if there's anybody that's listening that hasn't heard you, that they pick up on this new album Mileage and go back and pick up on all the other things you've done, because your consistency and creativity just make you stand out. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not trying to flatter you. I truly mean that. You're an artist for our time, and you're much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. It's true.
You've got me big smiling over here. Thank you so much for saying those beautiful things.
Well, it's meant from the heart. Meant from the heart. So
thank you.
I think Billy, you're going to sign us off now, and I'm going to go. I'm going to go weep profusely. I feel like I don't know.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I got to leave. Yeah, well, big thanks to Ruthie Foster, and wow, check out this new album. It's great. Mileage is already one of my favorite songs. Also, be sure and check Ruthie out online at ruthiefoster.com. Keep up with her tour there. And also, thanks to our host, Lee Zimmerman. He's an author, got a couple of good books out. The last one was 30 Years Behind the Glass about Jim Gaines, available on Amazon. Please like, share, and subscribe to My Backstage Pass on your favorite platform, and we'll see y'all next time. Happy trails
To you.